Okay.
Why are you shooting film? Digital's so much easier.
Yeah, mate, I've heard it all before.
Yeah, but it's
Look, I've heard it
free.
all before. You carry on shooting digital if you like. I enjoy shooting film.
Yeah, but you don't have to buy film, chemicals.
It's funny, isn't it? There was a time when film photography was an attractive and also cheaper way of getting into photography. But is it like that today? When I look at a decent film camera today and the cost of film, I can get a decent digital camera for the same price at no extra cost of taking pictures. And anyone that wants to learn photography, looking at these old DSLRs like this Canon 6D, fantastic camera, it's a no-brainer. You can pick these up for less than 300 quid. And this Canon 7D, another old camera, crop sensor, absolutely fantastic camera, still works flawlessly. You can pick these up for less than £200. So it's no wonder why people look at you shooting film and say, why are you shooting film? These things are so cheap. In this video, I'm going to be shooting the Olympus OM20 and a roll of Ilford FP4. FP4 has got to be, I would say, my favourite film for general photography. And often when I shoot this, I'll push it to 400 to get a little bit more compressed, a little bit more contrast out of my negatives. So that's what I'm going to be shooting, and a bit more speed out of the camera if I need to. With the Olympus OM20, I've got a 28mm lens. And behind this 28mm lens, with the Voigtlander cap, I've got an orange filter. It's quite sunny today, nice blue skies, so that should darken those skies down a little bit for me. Now, I know what you're thinking while I sit there paused with a silly look on my face, pushing film in bright sunlight with an orange filter. That bloke's a nutter. Maybe I am. I'm going to be shooting in aperture priority mode, so I don't have to worry about the metering, and that will do that for me. And because I'm pushing the film, I'm not, with the orange filter, I'm not going to go too slow, sort of, you know, 1/30th, 1/15th where I'm going to be. So that's quite good. I've also bought out a 50mm lens as well. Look at these cases, look, these old Olympus cases. There's a 50mm in there. And for those of you that follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I said recently on Instagram, I showed a photograph of the Olympus OM20. I've had this camera on my desk for over a week now. And it's something I do. If I plan to do a shoot or I've lost inspiration of what to shoot or whatever, I'll grab a camera and I'll put it on my desk and I'll leave it there. And every day I'm working on other things, it reminds me that I want to go out and take pictures with that camera. So it's just a little thing that I do. Maybe that might help someone else along the way, but I put this camera on the desk and every day it's in front of me and I keep looking at it thinking I must get out and shoot that. And by looking at the camera, I get little ideas of what I can do and what I can shoot with it. It's only, the trouble starts is when it starts collecting dust. You don't want that to happen. But for me personally, I shoot both digital and film. Digital I use a lot for work stuff and anything else that I want quick and easy, and film I'll shoot fundamentally and anything where I just feel like being creative and just fancy having some fun in my darkroom, and of course talking to you guys. And with digital having so many advantages over film, the cameras are getting better and better all the time, making photography so easy for everyone, which is a good thing. And with mirrorless, the traditional viewfinder has gone, and that's changed the way that people shoot, often looking at the screen for composition. You can't really make a mistake with digital, but with film, it's easy to screw things up, as you'll see in this video. But if your camera is good, your metering's on point, and you keep your development simple, there's no reason why you can't get excellent results with film. And let's not compare quality. Film is film and digital is digital. So for example, the farmer asked me the other day to take photographs of his donkeys and goats for their website. And there was no question that I was going to shoot digital. I wasn't going to go down there and shoot film. It would have cost me a couple of rolls of film or whatever. But with digital, I could go down there, shoot these donkeys, animals that are moving around and stuff, and just keep bursting off and come back and choose the best of a bad bunch maybe. So it was a no-brainer to shoot digital. And now and again when I go out for a walk, sometimes I just grab a digital camera and take some photographs that way. I don't always shoot film. But for me, the trouble is with digital, I don't have a decent printer. So if I ever do get a nice photograph on digital, I'll go and see my friend Steve, who's got a gallery. He's got a fantastic printer. I'll give him a drink and he makes me a couple of prints of my digital photographs. Other than that, they'll just sit on a server. I might share them on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, like the rest of us do. That's about it. But here's the weird thing. If I do go out with digital and I see a scene and I take a photograph of something that I think, wow, that looks really cool, I'll go back and take a film camera, medium format or 35mm like this one, and I'll do the whole thing again. How weird is that? Oh man, this is perfect, but you've got to stay still. Just for a minute, donkey. Donkey, stay still. No, don't bite me. But I guess that's because I find digital photography very easy, like most of you guys do. Film is a little bit more challenging, and I find it a lot more enjoyable with the whole process of taking the photographs, not knowing what you've got on the back, doing your metering right, coming back, developing the film. That's all come out nice and tickety-boo, going in the darkroom, making some prints. And it feels like I've actually accomplished something, rather than in digital putting an SD card in, going onto Photoshop and whacking it out of a machine and framing that way. But that's my personal opinion. Do you know what? I really do want to go back and get these on film. Not only for me, but also for the farmer, because I know he won't ever print those ones out that I gave him on digital. But I can print these out on film in my darkroom. So I want to go back and today and go into this donkey field with the goats and try and get some shots. It's not going to be easy. Not everybody has got a camera with auto wind on it or auto focus. So I thought I'd give myself a little bit of a challenge. Can I get these sort of pictures, slow down a little bit and try and get some decent photographs of these donkeys? So I'll have to do some zone focusing, know when that donkey is coming in, you know, into my zone, and then hit the button, advance, hit the button, advance. So it's going to be a little bit tricky, but you know, persistence and all that. Hopefully I'll get some nice photographs. So it's just this simple boat. There's not often, you don't often see these little boats on this beach. And when I saw it the other day, I thought I've got to go back there and get a shot on film. I did get it on digital though, but you know, with film, I can go back in the darkroom and make my own prints. I much prefer that than to send it off to my friend to inkjet print. You know, also it's a bit more challenging, I find, and I can keep the negatives in my collection. And it's quite nice, there's some sand dunes sort of bumping up against the side of the boat. The boat's also blue as well, sort of a blue, so that might come out a little bit darker with the orange filter. I need to get really low down though. So I need to make sure that I don't come low enough that the boat hides the sea. So I need the sea just above the boat slightly so we can see the whole sea and the horizon. Let's see how we get. I'll take a few shots there, they come out. Wait for these people to go by. There we go. Try and get the horizon straight. Shot done. And this time I'll come up above the boat a little bit more, looking down so we can see inside the boat, but not so much because there's a load of water and crap in there. So not so much, but we can just get a bit of depth on the boat. If I look up, coming down, but still get the horizon in. Just have just one more shot before we go of the beach. So I'm just coming down a little bit, get more of the waves in. Sky and the cliff is on the top lower upper third. Wait for a bit more of a wave. That look good. Once I've made a print in the darkroom, I also look at these prints that you can see here. This is one I made a little while ago in the darkroom on film FP4. No, it wasn't. This was Adox HR50 film, I believe. You know, when I look at these prints framed, there is a difference. I can see a difference between a film print and the crispness and clean-cut image of a digital print. These just hold a little bit more value to me with the grain and, you know, the timeless look of black and white as well, printed in a darkroom from a film negative. To me personally, I prefer these sort of prints. And then of course with film, you've got the choice of whatever classic camera you want to go out and shoot. You've got a choice of what film you want to shoot. You've got a choice of how you want to shoot that film, pushing, pulling or whatever. Then you've got a choice with developer and developing techniques. And then so on into the darkroom, you've got choices of papers, etc. and to make your final print. So there's a lot more that I find enjoyable with film than there is digital, but it doesn't go to say that I don't like digital. I just enjoy the film process more. And I suppose I enjoy it more than, you know, taking a photograph on digital, looking at the back of the screen, making sure I've got it right, taking another one if I need to, coming back, taking the SD card out, putting it in the computer, getting it in Photoshop, playing around with the sliders, making sure it looks all right, and then eventually getting it printed and then deciding where to put it on the server. Is it going to last 100 years? My negatives will, hopefully. I don't know whether the whether the digital files will. That's to be seen. I won't even know, will I? So this is the second shot I saw. You've got some sand built up on these window frames here, so I'm going to use a 50 so I can get nice and close. So this is what I saw the other day, this hole. It was quite nice getting a picture through there, but I brought the film camera out. There's some people there as well. Excuse me! Excuse me, mate. I want to get a shot through that hole at the sea. Do you mind just moving over a little bit? Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you. So I'm just going to wait for someone to go by. I think I did. Let's change that to the wide, the 28. We'll get one on the 28. So here's the donkeys at the moment. I've got the camera ready. My wife's going to hold the camera for me while I take pictures. And it's quite difficult because I've got to be careful of my shadow. I don't want any of this stuff in the background. And the donkeys get curious and they start following you. So to try and get photographs was much easier on digital. You can see my shadow now. And I'm backed up to a fence. Hello, mate. Hello. So it's just a little patience game with them, following me again to try and get pictures of these. I want to try and get low down so I don't get too much rubbish in the background. They're following me. So I don't get too much rubbish in the background. So ideally, you know, that sort of background there. Get low down on the floor, looking up at the donkeys. Portrait, not landscape, portrait. Get off, he's going to bite my camera. Now, because I'm not on autofocus, I'm going to have to use manual focus, but what I'm going to do, there's no way that I can just keep trying to focus. It's going to be impossible. I can't even see. I'm like digital. I can just flip the screen around and look up and see exactly what I'm doing. So I'm going to have, literally, it's going to be hope and pray. So I'm going to set my zone system, or zone system, yeah, zone focusing, sorry, and I'm going to be shooting F11, which will give me a nice decent zone. So all I need to make sure is that I'm fixed in that zone, and when the donkeys come into that zone, I can take my pictures. Got to try and get him to look up. Oh.
Missed that.
Oh man, this is perfect, but you've got to stay still. Just for a minute, donkey. Donkey, stay still. Oh, got another one. Oh man, you're making this difficult. I think I got you. Can I have two of you? Stay there. Stay there, donks. Yay. Look at this. Look, I've got a nice bit of straw stuff here. Oh, he's blinked. What'd you blink for? Thank you, that's the shot. We got the money shot, donkey. Yeah, we did. Oh, another money shot. You can have the straw. Oh shit, it hell. All right. Ah. But we know that digital has its advantages over film. It's a fantastic format and it is king of the photography world. And it's like these photographs here that I shot on digital. I stayed around this shelter firing off different angles and compositions, just really chancing my arm and hoping to get a good photo. And eventually I did get a couple of nice images. And when I did the same with film, I had to rely on getting that one shot in the moment and I missed it. I could easily go back there and do exactly what I did on digital, looking for that one shot out of 36. But I had one roll and I didn't want to waste it there. I had other photographs to get, and digital's fantastic for that. It's free, you're just shooting away as long as your SD card's going to cope. But it's kind of funny that I shot those donkeys on digital but felt compelled to go back and shoot on film. Why is that? I'm questioning myself, why did I go back and shoot that on film? It certainly wasn't for making this vlog at all. I'm shooting lots of stuff without putting it on the channel. I just wanted to go back and see, challenge myself, if you like, with the Olympus OM20, and see if I can get some nice negatives for my collection and maybe a couple of prints that I can do in the darkroom and give to the farmer and his wife. So I think that's the reason why I wanted to go back and shoot film. It was a little bit of challenging, plus I like using old cameras and playing around with film and chemicals. It's kind of like a hobby thing, and it's enjoyable as well. And when you get a nice result, you feel like you've accomplished something. So I guess many of you guys have had the question, why do you shoot film? I know that I have had it before in the past, and there's a few people that I can give the exception to, are those that grew up with film, shot film professionally in the 60s, 70s and 80s, and they've gone on to digital, and all of a sudden it's a breath of fresh air. They don't have to go to dark rooms anymore, they don't have to do no spotting, they don't have to pay for any film, they don't have to deal with smelly chemicals, and they think it's, you know, it's a blessing in disguise. Wow, we've got digital now, this is fantastic. I totally understand when they question. I don't understand why anybody would want to shoot film in this day and age. Totally get that. But there are people like myself and you guys as well, many others, and new photographers coming in that have never shot film, and they want to get into it and they want to experience it and have fun with it and play with it. And I think that's a lot of film photography today. It's fundamental, it's enjoyable, and it's a good hobby for a lot of people. So I'm going to use a Nikon ZF, and I've got a 28mm wide. It's an F-fit, so there's no autofocus, it's manual focus, but same settings, F11, 1/500th of a second, 400 speed. And the beauty of these digital flip out screen cameras like the ZF is I can shoot low down shots and just keep bursting away as the donkey's moving forward to me. When I get back, select the best one of the bunch. I only took a few though. I'm also going to use my phone as well. Phones are fantastic for photography. A lot of people using phones. In fact, my friend went out today and she sent me a few photographs. I said, wow, they're amazing. Those were red squirrels. She went, I took them on my phone. It blew me away. An iPhone, I've got an Android, not as good as, I don't think, but let's see what these Android phone comes out like. And I found the phone to be much quicker than the mirrorless camera, and the images wouldn't even look out of place on the farmer's website. A lot of companies these days are using user-generated content such as camera phones, as we're all used to seeing that quality, for online media anyway. However, you wouldn't want to blow it up on the back of a bus. So I had a nice walk along the beach and a nice bit of fun and games with the donkeys. My wife was holding the camera for me, so we had a bit of a blast down there as well. She was laughing at me rolling around and stuff. But what about the photographs? I know what you guys are thinking. They were bang contrasty, weren't they? Well, it would be. I was pushing the film to 400, which is a 2-stop push, and I had an orange filter on there as well. And it was a bright, blazing, sunny day, so I've got banging contrast going on anyway. So when it come around to shooting the donkeys especially, pointing the camera towards them and taking pictures with that push and the orange filter, it just lost all detail really around the donkeys. And not only that, the Olympus OM20 seems to have a bit of a light leak going on, so I was a little bit upset to see that, which is no big deal. I can get the seals and replace them quite easily, but you don't often want to see it on your photographs. So I had light leaks, a bit too contrasty, and not great negatives to come in the darkroom with. So I decided to go back and do it again. And although I said I wanted to challenge myself with the OM20 with no motor drive and no autofocus, just use a zone focusing, I decided not to waste another roll of film, and I decided to go with the Nikon F6, which is autofocus and also has got a motor drive as well and a damn good light meter inside. So I went back out the next day and I shot with the F6. I went back down the beach, got that boat again, went over the donkeys, rolled around and played with them in the poo for a little while and got their photographs as well. And this time they come out much better. And I developed them in 510 PYRO and did a bit of semi-stand development, which completely made sense. And I didn't push the film either. I shot it at 125, and with the donkeys I left the orange filter off. You know, it is hard when you're shooting them sort of cameras with moving animals like I was with the donkeys. You're just going to be missing shots all the time, and that's when digital is so much easier. When I went shooting there for the first time a couple of weeks ago for the farmer's wife's website, I took Nikon ZF, I got the flip out screen, I could get in composition mode and just burst off loads of shots. I probably came back with, I don't know, maybe 50, 60, 70 photographs. I didn't completely overkill it, and I came back with some really, really nice photographs that they loved and they're going to be using on their website. I enjoyed myself even with the digital camera because I was rolling around with the donkeys and they were making me laugh. But coming back, putting the card in the computer, going through that part doesn't really float my boat, you know, doesn't really excite me as much as shooting film. Not even seeing what's on the back or what I've captured, and then coming back, developing the film and getting more excited when they've come out good, and then the opportunity to come in the darkroom and make some prints. So I made some nice prints in the darkroom from that second shoot where I sort of cheated myself and went with the F6 and the 510 PYRO. This is one of the shots from the boat, so I'm really pleased that I went back and got that shot in, because I don't think that boat's going to be there too long. And like I said earlier on, that I've never seen boats like that on that beach in all the time I've been around this beach. So there you go, I've got that one there. That's a nice one for my collection. And of course I had to print, I didn't have to, but I wanted to print some photographs for the farmer's wife of her donkeys. This is one of them, two of them together. That's about the best one that I could get at the time. And you know, again, if I was shooting digital, I would have burst that off and I would have had different slight movements. So maybe there might have been a better one in a burst of 10 on digital. And you know, I think that's where digital comes into its own, that sort of photography. But it's just a waiting game with film. Sit and wait and you hit the button at the right moment. If it's not the right moment, then you've missed it. And this one as well, nice portrait. Looking up, I did that because I wanted to get, you know, nothing in the background, just the sky. And the clouds on the second day were much better. So I managed to get some clouds going on. I did have to do some burning around the edges to try and get those clouds out. It was quite difficult in the darkroom. With this paper being about 5 stops of dynamic range, you know, you've got a dark donkey against the sky. It was a bit hard, but the phone shot seemed to nail that straight off. But that one's going to the farmer's wife, and also another one as well. Trying to get that away from the light. There it is there. Another one of the donkey too. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, if anyone has ever said to you, why are you shooting film? Digital's much easier. I'd be interested to know. I shoot film because I enjoy shooting film. I enjoy the whole process, and I just find it more fun, you know, to shoot film. But there are times when I'll shoot digital and I need to because it's easier and it's cheaper. Let us know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you next time.